We were pretty snowed in this morning, so figured it might be a nice day to share a quick update on the development of Clare Game. But first, I will go over a couple smaller things first. Last week I put out a survey about the game and about Clare in general, just to gather some more ideas about the game and what people would like to see in the game, what people think about the region. And so far I've received over 30 responses, so thank you everyone who took the time to write the survey. They're really short, just 5 minutes. The survey is still up. I'll put a link in the description if you still want to fill it in. A lot of things that I already wanted to put in the game were brought up, and in terms of things that people enjoy about Clare, people bring up the traditions, the food, the people, and stuff like that. Although the people seems to be a double-edged sword for some people, since gossip was often brought up as a negative thing about the region, as well as how isolated the region is. So yeah, I'll try harder to incorporate these themes into the game. And also, one very specific suggestion I received from someone was to add like dreamlike sequences where you can view possible futures for Clare, which is something that I did think about including, since in the game you see visions of the past, so why not create visions of possible futures? Because who knows where Clare is headed, really. It's in our hands, but certain factors we don't control so much, like population decline and the economy, stuff like that. And different people have different ideas of how Clare could look in the future, so yeah, it might be an interesting thing to explore for sure. And recently I also shared a contest on Facebook and Instagram. Basically, I wanted to hear stories that were positive that people had about video games. Often you hear bad sides of games, and I don't deny that games can be negative for some people, but it's just nice to hear how games have positively impacted people's lives too. And yeah, if you subscribe to Frang on various social medias and leave a comment, you run the chance to win this. This is La Vie d'Arcade. I initially released this game online in 2014. It's the first game I really launched. And then a couple years later I decided to make a physical version just because I thought it would be cool. So yeah, here you've got the case with beautifully designed and illustrated art by Michelle Connors. Thanks again for the great collaboration. Yeah, inside you've got the disc with the installer, old business card, download code, and a color booklet with, I believe, 16 pages. And yeah, it includes a dictionary for Akkadian words that are used in the game, as well as details on the game, press quotes, stuff like that. So yeah, there are only a couple copies left, which is why I kind of wanted to give one out. I think there might be a couple more around stores around Clare, but other than that, I think I just have maybe 2 copies left. Okay, so December update. I've been working on a lot of stuff related to the game. Originally I thought, actually working on the game would take up the bulk of the time, but the writing and the drafting around the designs and stuff like that is taking a lot of time, and communicating with artists and coordinating the whole thing as well. But I have advanced in the prototype. I've started to build the start of the game to kind of get the onboarding plan in motion. So as I learned by reading The Gamer's Brain by Célie Hodin, which is a really good book, it's important to design your onboarding and the way players learn to play the game, in other words, in a way that will favor memory retention and stuff like that, just so that it's a smooth and not frustrating experience for players to actually jump in and learn how to play your game. And since my game is relatively open-ended, that's going to be a bit tricky to, make players learn how it works, just enough that they know how to go ahead in the world and find everything that the game has to offer. I've also been adding more progression features, just so that the player has a few goals when they're playing, things that they can accomplish. The game will be based heavily on narratives. There's a whole quest system implemented already, but kind of on top of that, what collection items or what kind of things can players hope to accomplish while they play the game. I also have Metegan and Sonyville, nearly functional and explorable, so yeah, it's fun to get the actual spaces into the game. Next will be Church Point, then Concession, then the various other kind of side areas. I'm really looking forward to it coming together and being able to play around a bit inside just to see how the game feels, because yeah, I've worked on design for the past year, and I have a pretty good idea of how the game will play, but of course it's only when you actually try it that you see what works and what doesn't work so well. So thanks for listening, and I hope it's a bit less cold and snowy where you are. As a reminder, you can still participate in the survey to get some ideas and suggestions in for the game, and also the giveaway for La Vie d'Arcade. So again, thanks for listening, and talk to you soon.